What is up, guys? I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing some economic analysis inspired by my labor economics professor on wage convergence and internal migration. So I was interested in the theory of economic convergence, specifically beta and sigma convergence theory, which states that over time, poor nations or poorer states will grow at a faster rate than richer nations or richer states, and the income of these poor nations will grow at a faster rate and eventually converge at a certain point. So I went ahead and I made this website and I filled it with some data from the Bureau of Economic Analysis to prove this. So here on the left-hand side, I have the 50 U.S. states, and here I have 1990 average annual wage rates, or wage, and then here I have 2020 average annual wage. And then I have the compounded annual growth rate for these wages to see how they've grown over time. So if we go down here, we can see this scatter plot that I made, where basically on this x-axis we have the initial wage in 1990. So states further to the left will be poorer states where people make less average annual wage. West Virginia, 13,000, Arkansas, 13,000, Mississippi, 12,000. And then states on the left like Connecticut, New Jersey, New York, Maryland, Massachusetts are making more. And then here on the y-axis, we have growth rate compounded annually. So states higher are going to be growing at a higher rate, and states lower are going to be growing at a slower rate. So what we see is an inverse relationship between these two. Higher initial wages will mean a slower growth rate, and a higher growth rate means a lower initial wage. So this is depicted here in this downward sloping trend line, which proves that we are in the United States experiencing some form of beta convergence theory, where over time these states that are poorer are going to increase at a faster rate and converge with these states that are richer. So part of this is because business goes to where labor is more plentiful and wages are lower, natural resources are cheaper, and obviously where land is cheaper too. Also technology that has already been invented, it's easier to implement in these areas, these cheaper areas, because it's a lot easier to get started. So we can also look at sigma convergence theory here, which measures the spread of this distance between the richest and the poorest states. So in 1990 it was 0.14, and in 2020 it was 0.12. So that's a 10% decrease in dispersion, so it's becoming more narrow, and inequality from the poorest nation to the richest nation has decreased 10%, which is great news. So we can search here by decreasing growth rate. We can see that North Dakota is leading the pack with South Dakota behind it. And that's most likely because in North Dakota, there was some legislation back in 2005 which opened their oil industry up for basically competitors to join, because of barrier to entries were lowered significantly. And this has basically just increased the demand of labor highly, with a very inelastic labor supply because of the rural nature of North Dakota. So it was great for them and great for their average annual wage rate. I also made this graphic here where you can see the states with the higher growth rates, compounded annual growth rates, are going to be in a lighter yellow color, while states with this darker color have a lower compounded annual growth rate. So I hope you guys learned something, and hopefully we can do some more of these. Have a great rest of your day.